Incidentally, our second South African team out of the 10. These guys have developed a brand new and innovative tagging system for mapping your exact location in real time. Next up is Waytag.
Gracias.
Same as always.
So Her Excellency and First Secretary, on behalf of another South African team, that's a 20% market share. Viva South Africa! Viva! Okay, my name is Nicholas Bednall. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer, and I'm battling with the clicker. There we go. With me is Warren Venter, CEO and founder, and you'll hear a bit more from him later. What I'd like to do is I'd like to start with a simple story. A story I think we can all relate to, of being somewhere and really wanting to tell someone where you are and not being able to do it. Perhaps it's your sister or your wife or your mother who's broken down on the side of a road in an unfamiliar neighborhood, and she's trying to explain to you where she is. I'm sure we can all relate to that scenario of battling to explain your current location. How many of you would be able to do that right now? We have a solution for that, and it's called Waytag. It's a one-word, unique name that you can own and manage. It's far simpler than trying to reveal your GPS coordinates and far easier to share. With Waytag, you can precisely locate yourself on virtual digital maps, and you can share it either verbally or via text. It's easier than Google because you can share it simply as a word. So our subject here, Chloe, she has a Waytag, and that's Chloe Mobile. And as she shares it, the recipient of Chloe Mobile can see it on a Waytag-enabled device, and they will be able to precisely navigate to her location, wherever that might be. They can do that on an Android device, on an iOS device, on a personal navigation device. They can do it on multiple devices. So if we could just play the video of our iOS device, you'll see we click on Find a Waytag. We type in Chloe Mobile. All Waytags start with an exclamation mark. The device finds a precise location from our database. We have imagery so that you can more precisely see the location in areas where maps aren't relevant. Once it finds her and her location where she's broken down, you can choose from your navigation devices whether they're paid for or free, and you can navigate precisely to her. Simple as that. I'd like to hand you over to Warren Venter, who will tell you more about the benefits of Waytag. It's that one on the right.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Domain names made it a lot easier for us to navigate around the internet. And we're making it easier for people to locate each other by using Waytag names. Today, there are more than 1 billion smartphones in distribution and circulation. And don't you think it's a bit ridiculous that with all this technology, we're still relying on a 500-year-old addressing solution, or even worse, GPS coordinates in order to find each other? The problem with these GPS coordinates and street addresses is that they also don't get updated in real time. So the reality is that maps are often outdated. And the other problem is that in many countries around the world, street addresses don't exist at all anyway. At the end of the day, all I really want to do is just get to Chloe Mobi or Chloe Mobile. I'm not really interested in what the GPS coordinates are. So yes, this is all about me and my name and my location. And I want that location to be updated wherever I am. So I can take my mobile Waytag, warren.mobile. I own it. I created it. I can update it, and I can share it with whoever I want to share it with. But the great part is I can actually put it on my business card so that people can actually find me. So let me show you how easy it is to actually update my location and actually share it. Okay, if we could just play the second video. Okay, so I go into the Waytag application, select Update My Mobile Waytag. That will zoom into my current location. This was done in South Africa. It allows me to fine-tune my position so I can take away the inaccuracies of GPS, drop the pin exactly where I am so people can meet me, update the location, and immediately I can share that update across email, text, or social networks. The other advantage of Waytag is because I'm in control of my own privacy, I can choose who I want to share this Waytag with in terms of visibility. So I can go to my Waytag, go down to the bottom to the privacy section, and see exactly who this Waytag is shared with. In this case, it's shared with Nicholas and Peter, but I want you to see it, so I change it to public. That Waytag is now updated, and if any of you go and look for warren.mobile, you'll see exactly where I am standing right now. So what Waytag is doing is we're creating a new addressing solution for a new world. If we could just change the next slide. I think it's here. There we go. But it's not about what we think about Waytag, so let's see what other people are talking about. TomTom has said that Waytags will revolutionize the way we share our address or our location in the future. In February of this year, we signed an agreement with TomTom on a global mapping deal, and we added more than 23 million businesses into our Waytag search feature. TomTom also took up a shareholding in Waytag. And today, we're working a lot closer with TomTom to integrate Waytag into all of their solutions. Nuance are the people that are the dominant players in voice command. And we've been working closely with Nuance to enable people to navigate to a Waytag by simply saying, navigate to Waytag Chloe Mobile. And Nuance have said that they see good potential to strengthen their cooperation with Waytag. So what is the business model? Where we're at the moment is we've actually filed patent applications, we've secured our strategic partnerships, and now we're going for user adoption. And we're going to focus on 3 verticals, and those verticals, obviously, TomTom has a very big role to play, and we're going to leverage our relationship with TomTom in these areas. So for navigation, our focus is person-to-person navigation, and we want everybody to be able to navigate on Nokia and Google, and with the help of Nuance on voice guidance, we'll be able to stimulate that environment. As far as mobile is concerned, we want any application. TomTom have a relationship with Apple and with BlackBerry. We want Apple, BlackBerry, Google, and Nokia all to have Waytag-enabled search in any search bar. So as soon as you enter the exclamation mark, it will hyperlink to a map and display that location. In this area, what we've done is we've increased our, we've secured a contract agreement with MTN, where we act as a content supplier. MTN is the 13th largest telco in the world, 171 million customers across 21 countries. And we're acting as, we're getting a revenue share out of that. As far as delivery is concerned, we want to enable new destinations around mobile delivery. We want to be able to increase last mile accuracy, and we want to be able to open up new opportunities to deliver to Waytag locations. We're looking for 2 million, and we're going to spend 75% of that on marketing activities. We look forward to your questions.
We did just send a greeting to the ambassador, and that took about 30 seconds of our time. Just want that
Yeah,
noted.
we were rushed here by this
Thank you,
finger.
ambassador.
Yeah, help me understand your intellectual property. What is it that you're doing that's so special?
The intellectual property that we filed is the ability to link a GPS coordinate to a simple name. And that's as simple as it is.
So, big partnerships, but how big is the business now? I mean, what's the revenue these days? How much to make of all this revenue sharing and big deals that you're telling us about?
Okay, we spent the good part of a year negotiating with TomTom because we had to get around a legal problem with extracting content from maps, and that applies to all mapping providers. So as a result of that, we only signed the deal in February. When we signed the deal, we added that content, the 23 million businesses, into the search engine so we could make it useful. I always said, you know, if I was the only person with a fax machine, who am I going to fax? So the reality with the Waytag is if I was the only person, I wanted to make it useful and have content, and that's why we added the content into the system. The next drive was actually from February to start looking at actually driving the user base. We have approximately 6,000 active users at the moment. We have about 15,000 owner managed and controlled Waytags, and we're starting a marketing campaign from the beginning of next year. The revenue driver, just to answer that question, we signed the deal with MTN Directory Listing Service. We're doing a joint initiative with TomTom, where TomTom supplies the mapping and we supply the content infrastructure and architecture. The business model there is that MTN, they upsell business listings, so they give more prominent sort of display to businesses that list on a monthly basis. The listing fees are between $10, $20, and $40 a month. And we earn a shared revenue off the listing fees on a monthly basis. And in that process, we have minimum listing levels that they need to achieve in order to retain the contract. So we'll only see that process starting from the beginning of next year, and we'll see how that revenue pans out.
Sorry, can you tell us a little bit about who are the current shareholders and what percentage each shareholder has?
Okay, current shareholders, myself and Peter McFall were the original co-founders. We brought a technology company in. We all went 1/3 on that basis. We then brought in a couple of angels as we needed to fund the business a bit more. And of course, TomTom was the additional one that came in. So within that structure, we have several small angel investors. Myself, I'm the largest individual shareholder, and I'm larger than TomTom. So TomTom doesn't have an influence over any of the business direction.
But you can't say what percentage TomTom has?
I'd rather chat to you about it. It's less than 20%. I think just on that point, our strategy is not to allow any individual organization to have a shareholding that would result in influencing our business in any direction, other than allowing us to become an enabler across the platforms of every other business that needs to interact with location.
I tried using Google Latitude maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I don't remember. I don't remember neither why I stopped using it.
Okay.
But do you know a little bit what happened there? If they're still active, what's their customer base, and what do you offer different to Google Latitude?
I think there's a lot of solutions like Google Latitude. You can put Facebook into the same equation. You can put Twitter into the same equation. Everybody is starting to add location enablement in their tweets and in their social interactions. The difference is that none of those solutions are able to go outside of the walled garden in which they're contained. So the reality is that you cannot say what your Google address is. You cannot verbally communicate that to anyone. You can't put that on your business card. With us, the ability for us to be able to add that as a permanent address that stays with me wherever I am is a much bigger value proposition. And the guys like Google Latitude, in terms of the Facebooks and the Twitters of the world, are starting to understand, and our interactions have been, that they understand that the actual address itself is not really the value add to their business. The value add is what they do with that address. So in Google's case, Street View would be a value add. In TomTom, getting between where you are to where you want to go to the Waytag you get into, that's the value add, the traffic feeds, etc. So, we break outside the walled gardens. That's the simple answer.
So in Google Latitude, I wouldn't be able to verbally tell you what my Waytag is or my latitude is. So after this meeting, if you wanted to meet me, and I didn't know whether there were coffee shops in this area, I could simply update my mobile Waytag, tell you the name, and you could navigate to me, and it doesn't matter whether I know what the name of the coffee shop is or what the street address is or where in the street it is, because you're navigating to me. And we believe that people want to meet people and navigate to people rather than go to buildings. So the IP is also around making navigation, which is enabled through smartphones, much more people-friendly.
Hi. Do you have the technology in-house, and how are you going to spend the €2 million in marketing? Is it to attract telco operators, to attract individual users?
Okay, I'll answer the technology component. We have the system is completely built. We use a Progress technology based in Boston. We do not have any development work to do other than tidying up UI. But as far as our API is concerned, we launched our API at the Next Web Startup Conference in Amsterdam in the beginning of this year. So as far as the technology tools are concerned, we're not looking at spending anything. As far as operations is concerned, some of that money would go into increased hosting fees because obviously we're anticipating increased activity on the interactions with Waytag. But I'll pass to Nick for the marketing component.
So 75% of the money will be spent on marketing, and the primary focus of marketing is consumer adoption of Waytags. We believe that consumer adoption of Waytags will grow the universe of Waytag users substantially, and the interaction of consumer Waytags with business Waytags then creates a very interesting play from a data point of view and from a sharing and from an interaction point of view. So primarily around consumer. You can see already our distribution amongst business is strong and getting stronger. We've already got a major telco, and we've got at least 3 others that are interested in other regions. And as Warren mentioned, we'll be leveraging our TomTom relationship to break further into navigation devices like smartphones and personal navigation devices.
Which regions will the market be?
Yeah, it's not a lot of money, so we're going to focus on the highest smartphone penetration areas, which is probably going to be a little bit of the Far East and a little bit of the States for different motivations, but both have fairly good penetration of smartphones, or pretty high penetration of smartphones.
Perhaps just, can I just answer one last thing? Just the issue with regard to the amount of funding we're raising. This is actually less than we've already invested in the business in the sense of the technology and the infrastructure. What we're looking to do is just to kickstart the marketing component, which we believe is going to drive in a revenue opportunity, which will actually be self-sustaining after that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Well done.